Alright, welcome guys. Today on Movies for Entrepreneurs, I'm going to be reviewing the Greatest Showman. I'm going to review 4 things that every entrepreneur should and should not do, and I'm also going to give my favorite line from the movie. So we'll get started with one thing that we should do, and first let me start with the synopsis of the movie. It's a great movie about Barnum, for Barnum and Bailey, P.T. Barnum, and it's really just a movie that just gives you inspiration of what the human will is possible, like it's possible to do, what we're capable of doing, so many things. And he started from nothing. His father died when he was a kid, and he was able to just transform himself through just sheer determination. So it's very inspiring as an entrepreneur. I don't know your background story, but there's just I just know wherever you came from, you're capable of doing more, capable of growing more, just like I am, just like everybody else is. So we'll go ahead and get started with the list. Like I said, the 4 things that entrepreneurs can do, and the thing that we need to worry about. So the first thing is we are capable of change. We're capable of anything we want to do. We are almost limitless, and I say almost because obviously there's some things that are outside of our physical realm, but there are other ways around it. For instance, man can't fly. Like I can't just flap my wings and fly, but we've been able to construct airplanes and helicopters and other things. I can't be in 2 places at one time, obviously, but with this, I'm able to be in your living room or on your phone, wherever you may be. So there's always ways around to whatever your dream may be. So keep that in mind. The other thing about change that we need to be careful of is try not to change who we actually are. For instance, there's certain things that I love to do, but when I try to step outside of that, I don't enjoy it as much. And we'll just say, for instance, shopping. Shopping is just not my thing. Maybe for you it's sports, or maybe for you it's whatever it may be. But keep in mind that we're also able to learn and adapt to whatever we want to do. So just because you're not very good at singing, you can probably get a little bit better. Or you may not be good at sales, you can get a little bit better. Maybe you're not very extroverted, you can get a little bit better. So whatever it is that we maybe feel like we're limited in, we can always get a little bit better. So definitely keep that in mind. I mean, I'm not asking you to go out and try to be the world's greatest basketball player, but if getting a little bit better at basketball is going to help you maintain better relationships with your friends or family members or coworkers, why not try it? So anyways, move on to the next one is believe in yourself and others. And I think that was one of my favorite things. He just believed in others and himself. He was able to do so many things by just believing in himself, but he helped other people believe in themselves also. People that were maybe rejected by their own family members, as they said, rejected by society, he showed them to just believe in themselves and just find something that people wanted, which was entertainment, to smile, to be excited, so just all that comes from just believing in yourself. Obviously the cautionary side of that would be putting too much trust in others, possibly leaving yourself vulnerable, maybe putting too much trust in yourself, over promising something, maybe saying that I'll have that report done by 5 o'clock when you haven't even started it, or saying, oh yeah, well this is the best, whatever you're selling, this is the best product in the market, when it actually isn't. So obviously believing in yourself is one thing, but lying to yourself is a totally different thing. And that's one of the things he was accused of. He was accused of lying. As he called it, I think the word just escaped me. I think he called it hyperbole or whatever. But so there is you don't want to exaggerate the truth, but you can also expand on it. You can have a good imagination about it. For instance, if I'm trying to sell this, my passport just happens to be here, but if I'd say, hey, this is a wonderful book of travels and engagement, obviously I'm kind of exaggerating, but it does show the countries I've been to, and I can tell you stories about the countries I've been to, but it's not a real book about those things. But obviously I can add stuff to it. But whatever it is that you're selling, you definitely don't want to lie about it, but you could, I could say, hey, this is a ticket to the world. It is a U.S. passport, so it does allow me to visit a lot of countries that maybe other people from certain countries can't visit. So yeah, I could say it's a ticket to the world. But anyways, back to the main points. One thing is to cherish others. The movie was so good about like bringing home points of like family and connectedness. But there was a point where he didn't. I mean, he did everything for his family. We get that, but he almost pushed himself too far. He did things that weren't in his family's best interest. I mean, once he achieved what he wanted, he kept pushing for more. And then luckily, towards the end, I'm not going to give it away, but towards the end, he kind of realized that he was pushing a little too hard in the wrong direction. So, and then the next thing is turn your haters into your motivators. I loved how anything they said bad about him, he kind of used that towards his benefit. It started as a small little museum, and then people started calling it a circus as a way to just kind of talk bad about the place. But he actually put that as part of his name, and people, all the things they accused him of, humbug, which we don't use that word currently. So I thought of Scrooge, but I guess it means an exaggeration. It's a little bit of a stretch of words. So, but he used his haters into his motivators. So the cautionary side of that is maybe you need to listen to them sometimes. Your haters actually speak the truth. So if they're telling you that you're too cheesy or you're too loud or you're too whatever it may be, listen to them, but also just don't take it to heart. So if you get too many people, if you've done a lot of sales calls, you're going to get everything in the book. You're going to be told that you're not to call because your products or whatever they may be, or you guys are calling too much, or if you have whatever it may be, whatever product you're selling or service, listen to your haters, but just don't take it to heart. I strongly encourage people to listen to what people that contradict you might think, because they're going to also show you, they're going to shine that light on you. This is my imaginary flashlight, by the way. They're going to shine that light on you that you may not be able to see. So definitely listen to them, but also just don't take it to heart. And my favorite line of the movie was, everyone has an act. I remember the first time I kind of realized that we're all just actors in a movie, of our own movie, actually. So you also have to decide, are you an extra in a movie? Are you the director? Are you the producer? Are you the main star? Or are you just, just gradually going through life, just avoiding certain circumstances, good or bad? But everyone has an act. I remember I was in New York City, I think it was like 2 to 3 years ago. And I remember there was a sign that said, please, something about, please don't pay the actors. And I think they were referring to like the naked cowboy, or the people that dress up as superheroes and stuff. But that day it was really cold out, and the only people out there were the homeless people, were the beggars. And I was like, are they actors? And it just kind of struck me, because I'm like, they kind of are. Like, I'm not saying that homeless people are, and I know there's cases of homelessness that are deep rooted, and I mean, there's situations that you just can't avoid. But I also know that there's people that really, we kind of play the victim, and I've had people that I've given money to, homeless people, and then I see them the next day with the exact same line they told me that they just needed gas for the day. I was like, I gave you gas yesterday. Or I know situations where I've given people food and they just throw it away, like right in my face, and I'm like, what? Like, I just gave you that, I think we are actors to a certain extent. And so what kind of actor are you? Are you the Arnold Schwarzenegger, the action figure? Are you the I'm trying to think of who's or Adam Sandler? He always plays the same character. He's this small town guy who is just this honestly, genuinely nice guy. Who just helps everybody. And I know he's played other parts too, but it seems like that's what he does. But I'm trying to think of other actors off the top of my head. The Rock, maybe that's who you want to be. But you're the actor in your own movie, so I hope you watch this movie. I know when I first watched it, it was about a year ago, knew nothing about it. I kind of stumbled upon it. I was going to the movies, and I was going to the movies about every Saturday or Sunday, just by myself, just whenever I was bored. And I knew nothing about the movie, didn't watch any previews. I think I saw a preview like in the week before, but I didn't know anything about it. Didn't know it was a musical for sure. I was just kind of joking, like, oh, it's Wolverine. Maybe it's like a prequel to Wolverine. I knew it wasn't, obviously, but I was just like, whatever, I'll watch it. I got nothing to do. It was the best movie out. It seemed like. So I watched the opening weekend. I was just blown away. Like I'm not a big musicals person. Like I don't like musicals. I mean, I can't say I don't like musicals, but I don't watch a lot of them. And but it was so good. So if you haven't seen this movie, I encourage you to go watch it today. Watch it right now. I actually rented it off of YouTube for like $2 or $3. I don't even remember anymore. But whatever source you want to use. But anyways, thanks for your time. If you enjoyed this video, I'll be making more videos about this. They're going to be about entrepreneurship and how, with books and movies and things like that. So if you have a movie you want me to review or a book you want me to review, put it in the comments, but also subscribe. All right, thanks. Bye.